Hello, this is Count Valerian, the Bolero Tone, and I am here to announce that I have published a book. Technically, actually I published a dissertation earlier, but I'm hardly counting that. I've published a parody of a generic fantasy work, plus a little bit of kind of cruel parody of the Sword of Shannara by Terry Brooks, even though it's not that bad a book. I kind of got inspired, so to speak, one bright day after finishing my dissertation. I got kind of inspired and started getting all these bizarre ideas for this parody, and here it is. I mean, it's existed for a while, for several decades, for a couple of decades, but it has just gone on sale, and you can buy it at Amazon, at Blackwell's in England, at Barnes & Noble, several other outlets as well. So let me, pardon me. One second. Let me show you the book. Here it is, The Quest for Sauron's Diary, by generic fantasy author and Count Valerian. And here is the title page. And here we have the blurb on the back. Sorry, it's kind of hard to, there we go. So what does it say? A profound philosophical work. In this thrilling saga of daring do, two young heroes undergo a trial by fire, pursued by nasties and other horrors, and accompanied by a wise druid, a babe, two brave warriors, a stalwart barf, a pair of elvish elves, and a bevy of cliches. They traverse a wilderness of dread and are caught up in a battle unto death between good and you fill in the rest. Prepare to be spellbound by the masterly hand of best-selling legend cranker, generic fantasy author, who will lead you through a terrifying dimension of bathos, for which you shall pay the ultimate price, making quite a lot of money for a generic fantasy author in the process. But this pales in comparison to the horrors that await when his chef d'oeuvre is adapted for television. So, some of you may have heard me read from this. This is the story of Bozo and Fred and their adventures. However, this also has some additional features, including praise from various reviewers, got a map. You can't read this on the screen. You're going to have to buy the book in order to read the map. And author bios. A whole bunch of new artwork. You see it all looks nice and pretty. It was quite a lot of work to get this thing looking decent. Now let me quickly read a couple of excerpts from this. So the first I'm going to read of all things, I'm going to read the copyright notice. All rights reserved. Any that dare make use of any characters or places or anything really for any monetarily remunerative purposes whatsoever shall be slain, and thy bleached bone shall litter the desert floor of the ash heap of history. Any that dare make slash based upon my character shall be instantly damned. Nay, they shall beg and plead for damnation, for that were a trifle compared to the horrors that lie in store for them. All the characters included herein are real. I've met 20,000 people exactly like these characters, and that's just in the last 5 minutes. Any copyrighted entities herein named are used in a purely fictional and satirical sense, however, so buzz off, corporate lawyers. Okay, it's got a bit of a preface too. Also, note the nice shiny runes on the back. And on the front too. So, I'm going to read from chapter 1. Chapter 1. Fred and Bozo are bored. Fred and Bozo Hosanna were bored. Bozo liked it that way, for he knew that any adventure that they ended up happening would be even more appallingly dull than their current meaningless existence. He also knew that there was something that kept him apart. Was it the clown makeup, or the words, "I am an elf," that had been found written on his arm when his foster parents, Fred's real parents, had found him? Nah, it was probably the clown makeup. Fred thought adventures would be way cool, but otherwise had no personality. One day, a mysterious old man in a robe came to visit them. "I'm a druid," he said. "Cool," said Fred. "He would be," groaned Bozo under his breath. "You two are the most vitally important people in the world," continued the druid. "You alone can save the world from the evil that has already engulfed it, leaving only 7 people free from its dominion, plus assorted extras, of course." "Totally cool," said Fred. "You're right, as if. No way," muttered Bozo. "I can't tell you more at the moment, for that would violate the formula, besides perhaps actually preparing you for the horrors you are about to face," said the druid. "You'll soon know all too much. I must leave now to face my tenure committee. Pack your bags and get ready to go to the city of the bards." With that, he left. There's a pic. Well, you can't really see the pictures very well unless you buy the book. So, the few more quotes. A black shape was coming towards them. Was it a Nazgul? A skull-bearer? A credit card CEO? It was all these and far more, for it was a nasty. Yeah, right, said Bozo. This is a romantic moment in the story, he added. Let's see. Let's see. Only two things prevent Batty's universal triumph and a whole lot of bad mojo, continued the druid, whose name was Waffleon, if anyone cares. One is the Sword of Pipsqueak, the other is Sauron's Diary. The first can only be wielded by Fred, the second by Bozo. Yada yada yada. We already knew all that, said Bozo. And here's another little excerpt. I'm trying to spare the really good bit. Save the really good bits because I want you to read the book to get to them. You're so clueless, replied Bozo. These guys have mega hit points and stuff, and besides, they're elves, as in elvish and elven. They're probably all made in some third world country. Silence, said the druid. I will do all the explaining stuff, troll. Okay, here's a good quote. This place is very dangerous, said the druid. This is a scary moment in the story. Well, duh, remarked Bozo. Let's see. Let's see. I won't read that one. And I don't want to do that because it has spoilers. Okay, so this, the price, this should be available for 10 cents. I believe the amount at Blackwell's in pounds is £12 50 pence, and it should be $10 in US money. That's, and even with that, I'm probably not going to break even with this thing. So sorry, it's not less, but that's as cheap as I could go, and still, kind of not have be a complete loss financially. So, but anyway, if you like my stuff, you should find this highly entertaining. If you don't, then you won't. And that's about the end of that. Oh, you know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the link in. Shut up. I'm going to put the link in the chat for And I'm actually going to put it in the description too when I'm done with my with this broadcast. I'm gonna see first the Barnes and Noble link, and then the Blackwell link. You can also get it on Amazon. I'm trying not to encourage Amazon too much because they're an awful, 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 awful company. The others are probably bad too, but this one is, but Amazon is worse. So, so I'm trying to encourage. So I'm trying to encourage just people to get to buy from something that's not Amazon, even if it's like Barnes and Noble or something similarly oligopolic. Is that even a word? You know what I mean? Even if it's a similarly like big, mega, powerful company, at least it's a little bit less bad. So here we go. There's the link for Barnes and Noble and for Blackwell. So I guess I'm off now. Have a riot. I'm very off. Have a riot.